Good morning. It's Dr. Herbert Harris, and it is Success Mentorship class number 300. Wow, and 18. I see a lot of you joining us on Instagram. Thank you. Joining us on Facebook. And of course, we have our Success Mentorship team in the room. So thank you for being here today. This topic today is one that is very, let's just say, timely, because we're in the Easter season. And the treatment that we will give it today is not a religious treatment, but a practical treatment, a treatment about operation, how to do what you must do to get the things you want to create the life you desire to have this year. So this year is your year for outrageous success, and we're going to deal with the resurrection principle, the resurrection principle, and how it impacts your life and how you can use that principle to take you from where you are to where you want to be. As you know, our topics are always based on our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And I invite you to visit our website, herbertharris.com, to get your copy of the book and Success Toolbox and all the many of the other goodies that we have there for your use and for your benefit and enjoyment. Before we get started, I like to get us centered with a centering meditation to put us in the proper framework to be open and receptive to the message today. So let us just sit straight up in our seats, close our outer eyes, open our inner eyes, take a deep breath, hold it, let it out slowly. Take a deep breath, hold it, let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. Once more. I am at peace with myself. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in the space of peace and relaxation, my mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Just let that sink in. Let us affirm together again. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. This day I wanted to really dwell a little bit on the the meditation, because it's important that we be in the proper foundation, the proper space to be open and receptive to a message that can transform our lives. This is the Success Mentorship class, and each week we have different speakers coming. Last week we had Dawn Lovell from Barbados speaking, and want to give her a big shout out. And those of you who have not seen her message, take a look. We had Shalenthia Miles before that, Herman Taylor. So we have different speakers bringing the message. Today, though, I wanted to share with you myself, because this idea of the Easter season and this I'll call it this resurrection phenomenon, has a much bigger impact on how we live our lives and how we can use it to help us transform our situation from where we are right now to wherever we want to be. One of the most powerful quotes from Earl Nightingale, from the first law of success, from the Buddha, and it basically says this: you become what you think about most of the time. And this is saying that we have the ability to create our lives from our thoughts. And that if we manage, control our thoughts, we can transform our lives and face anything that occurs, anything that comes about. With that quote, let us sort of review the idea of the Easter spirit, the resurrection, not from a religious point of view, but a spiritual point of view. So thinking about this, the week before Easter was Palm Sunday, and shortly before that, the master teacher, Christ, the master teacher, had performed an incredible miracle. And he did it in front of the people. He raised Lazarus from the dead after he'd been in the grave stinking for 4 days. And what that is saying is that nothing is impossible. The message there is nothing is impossible. As unlikely, as impossible as that may seem based on our own consciousness and our own level of understanding, the message there is that absolutely nothing is impossible. As a matter of fact, the word impossible, if we break it down, it says, I'm possible. And so in our lives, many times we may accomplish great things, and the people honor us and praise us. And so as a result of that miracle and seeing, it being done in front of so many people on Palm Sunday, the master teacher came into Jerusalem victorious, and the crowds and the throngs are praising and rejoicing. And that's said in our lives. When we do great things, they say everybody loves a hero. John Kennedy once said that success has 1,000 fathers, and failure is an orphan. And so when you have your great victories, when you accomplish great things, people praise you and lift you up. But then just a few days later, the same people that were praising and lifting up the master teacher were the very ones who were now deserting him. Even those closest to him, Peter, his disciples, were the ones who had been through him, with him, and through the miracles. Even though they deserted him. And this is saying many times in our lives, when we accomplish great things, the very people who uplifted us and who were, just surrounding us, then in short order, all that can be changed. And they're now persecuting us, crucifying us. And crucifixion is really when your thoughts and your actions manifest in reality. The symbol of the cross on a metaphysical level often means when your thoughts and your actions manifest in your reality. And then after that, the people came against him. You had the government, and the government is symbol. Pontius Pilate is a symbol that systems. And we see it happening right now in the world as we become more and more mechanized, as we become more and more AI-based, artificial intelligence-based. We see it. We've basically, government and structures take humanity out of the equation. So, there was a time, I've been in real estate for years, and I know many of you on this call are in real estate. There was a time when you had a relationship with the banker. And when the banker knew you and could look into your eyes and, forget what's on the balance sheet, he knew your character. He knew that you were going to do the job and you could get a loan. Now it's all mechanized. I ran into a friend who was president of the local bank, one of the national banks, and he's now doing real estate. And I'm like, well, what happened? He said, well, when the new people bought the bank, they brought in systems, and so they've taken all power from individuals and put it into the machines, the underwriting group. And so that symbol there is that there are structures that have no feeling, structures that don't relate to you as a person, as a human being. And so systems take the golden rule out of the equation. We see it happening now with corporations buying homes. One of the big problems is nobody's managing. Who do you call when something breaks? And so all of this is the context in which we're living. And so after this crucifixion, when the master teacher is on the cross there came a time, and we often talk about the 7 last words. There was one in which he doubted. He said, Father, have you forsaken me? And that says in our lives that many times when we come against the travails, when we come up against the challenges of life, many times you feel alone. You feel that you are now disconnected from the source. And it happens, boy, when you've flown very high, and when the reverse takes place, boy, you feel alone. I know that those who are listening today have had that experience where those who lifted you up now abandon you, and boy, you feel alone. You doubt. But then you resolve that doubt, knowing that there will be a resurrection, that you can transform your life no matter how bad things are, no matter how terrible things may be. You have the ability now to transform and to recover and to develop a new blueprint to the next level. And so that's our message here. That's our message, that looking at 3 different areas. When people disappoint us, when the very people that we have loved, that we have helped, that we've uplifted, when they disappoint us, when they let us down, the master teacher said something very interesting. He said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. When your friends, when your family come against you, it's because they don't know who they are. You see, each of us, we always bring ourselves to the party. So the very persons that praised you on one end may demonstrate a jealousy within. And so you look on another day and they're going against you. And so this idea of resurrection is when people come against you, one of the powerful realizations is that you can't change people. People have to change themselves. But you have a great power, and it's the power of choice. And so you can choose to forgive them, and that simply means don't stay in the mindset that attracted them into your space. Don't stay in the mindset created by their own limitations. Until you forgive somebody, you're holding yourself down there with them. Forgiveness is for you, to free you from whatever those challenges are. And so this idea of creating now the blueprint for your success is to realize that people are either with you or against you, that it really has nothing to do with you in a sense. And let me just back up a minute on that. It's always an inside job. And so if you find that you're constantly attracting people who will turn around and crucify you, there's something inside you that you must adjust. But we'll come back to that. So the thought is this, that whenever these personal crucifixions take place, that you have the ability, just as the prodigal son, to see above the circumstances of negativity that they create, and to see yourself, your source, is the great person that you are. And that's a great power, folks, because people will persecute you and will undermine you and will hurt you. But you have the ability to rise above that. We also have to look at the systems. The world in which we live is really systems upon systems upon systems. matrices upon matrices. And so when we look at the politics, when we understand the politics for what it is, for example, then you use your wisdom to position yourself to be victorious, realizing that that's the nature of the beast. And so you have to be wise and lay out another blueprint for your life, taking all that into consideration. And then the third, the very challenging, is the crucifixion by yourself. That sometimes we are experts at beating ourselves up. That sometimes we are experts at having a double mind, where we let negative thoughts undermine our lives. You see, the universe is created in abundance. So where does lack and limitation come from? It comes from our thinking. And so the greatest crucifixion is the one that we do to ourselves. And so we have to get above our negative thoughts. There's a powerful scriptural principle, and it says, choose this day whom you will serve. And so if you serve negative thoughts of lack and limitation, then that's the vibration you create, and you attract that into your space. But the resurrection concept says, change your thinking. As Earl Nightingale said at the very beginning, you become what you think about most of the time. So whatever situations you may be going through right now, whatever crucifixions you're imposing upon yourself, change your thinking. From lack and limitation to abundance, to possibilities. It may be your feelings. You know, you can permit feelings of jealousy, feelings of inferiority, feelings of fear to capture you and crucify you and separate you from your God-given potential. And so this idea of resurrection is like take control of your feelings. So convert feelings and emotions of fear to feelings and emotions of courage. Turn fear into faith. So that no matter what is happening in your life right now, you have the ability to get through it. And even more importantly, you have the ability to grow through it. See, that's a powerful piece, because if you don't grow through it, chances are you will go through it again and again. You may experience the crucifixion of your habits. You know, right now there are so many people with these new drugs coming in from wherever, from China, from Mexico. These drugs that are so powerful that one sniff or taste, or however you take it, can kill you. Our habits, in the beginning, we create our habits, but in the end, our habits create us. So if the crucifixion that we're experiencing in our daily lives is based on bad habits, tardiness, lack of organization, procrastination, lack of focus, all these habits that undermine our possibilities and our potential, the resurrection says, take control. Choose this day to create new habits, positive habits, uplifting habits. Then you have the crucifixion of relationships. Need to take a drink of coffee on that one. That we attract people into our space congruent with how we feel about ourselves. So it's always an inside job. And so as we go through this process, if we're attracting people into our lives that don't honor us, that don't uplift us, that bring us harm, then we need to work on ourselves. We need to change the vibration within us, because we're sending out a vibration that's attracting them to our lives. You know, when you live in the country and you come up to the front door, the moment the light comes on, all of a sudden you see bugs and gnats and mosquitoes, all these things. So well, where were they when there was darkness? They were there, but they were just not active. The moment the light comes on, it attracts negativity. So the moment your light begins to shine, you'll find that you will attract people into your space who will hurt you, who will undermine you. And so a part of your own personal resurrection is to choose your friends wisely, to change the vibration within you so that you attract different people. So now how do we go forward with this? Knowing that people, knowing that systems, knowing that our own thoughts, emotions, habits, and relationships can be our cross, can be our crucifixion. How do we go forward? And the challenge, the power is to see a new vision for yourself. And so often without the crucifixion, you can't see the true potential. So every challenge that you experience, whether it's from other people or whether it's from systems or whether it's from yourself, is an opportunity for you to grow through it. And so now your imagination, your power of vision gives you the ability to grow through it. When we talk about imagination, Albert Einstein said, imagination is more powerful than knowledge, more powerful than information, because imagination is not bounded by anything. Your imagination is your complete ability to communicate with the good source, with the God source, to be able to plug into the universal truths. We talk about the 12 universal laws of success. Through your imagination, you can visualize and see yourself using these principles. And whatever you see yourself as, whatever you say yourself as, whatever you feel yourself as, whatever you act on as, you become. And so the message is that whatever that crucifixion is, whatever that thing is in your life, whatever that challenge, whatever that negativity, whatever that wall, that obstacle that is there, that through your imagination you can connect with God, with infinite intelligence, and you are able to get through it. So you can see now the new thoughts that you must have to create the vibration that pulls into your life this year, the things that you desire, the things that are good for you. You'll be able to feel that feeling, those vibrations of love, of power, of compassion that make you magnetic and attract love and compassion into your space. You'll be able to transform your habits, knowing we know what our bad habits are, but you're able to transform them so that you now create habits that uplift you. You develop a daily method of operation. You're able to write your things, the things that you want to accomplish the night before, and schedule them so that at the end of each day, you can say, this time, I did everything I could with what I had to do it with to make tomorrow the way I want it to be. You now have that power now through your imagination to visualize and see relationships that can take you from where you are to where you want to be. So I want to just refer to a section in the book, in the 12 Universal Laws of Success. And we're in the chapter on vision. And how do you expand your vision? Because your vision is the blueprint for your success. Number one, to always believe it can be done. When the master teacher was crucified, he knew that he would arise. You know, the great poem says, still I rise. So that no matter what challenges you may be facing right now, they may be health challenges, they may be financial challenges, they may be relationship challenges, but that first step says, believe it can be done, that nothing is impossible. The second step is to eliminate that thought impossible from your thinking, from your vocabulary, to never see anything as limited, to always see things as maybe they just haven't been done yet. There was a time when the 4-minute mile was impossible, but once it was done, Kids do it in high school now. There was a time when people thought man would never fly, and now they fly all over the place. So eliminating that word impossible makes your mind open and receptive to new ideas, which is the third step. That as you go through the challenges, the personal crucifixions, either by others, by systems, or by yourself, that you should always be open and receptive to new ideas, because you cannot put new wine into old jars. And so open and receptive to new ideas, saying that you have that sense of wonder now. You're not so bound by your condition and your circumstances that you can't see your potential. That when we can do these things, when we are able to know that it can be done, have total faith that whatever we can think, we can do, that there's absolutely no limitation. When we know that nothing is impossible, it's only a level of consciousness. We have to take our butt out the way. You know, so many times you say, well, I'd like to do this, but I don't have an education. I'd like to do this, but I don't have any money. When you eliminate the but, nothing is impossible. And when you stay open and receptive to new ideas and committed to growth, then you will truly grow through the crucifixion experience, so that you can then achieve eternal and everlasting life in the thought, becoming one with the vibration of life itself, knowing the continuity of life through all its different changes. We may call it life and death, but it's all just energy going through the different transformations. When you can do this, when you can use each crucifixion experience in your life as a lever, as a stimulant to help you fly, to help you understand how powerful you really are, then nothing is impossible. Then you can be anything you desire to be. Then you can do anything you desire to do. Then you can have anything you want. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. Let's just take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. So it is. Thank you so much for being with us today. I trust that you'll take this resurrection experience and put it into your life operation. That you'll take this experience now knowing that no matter what challenges confront you, you can always overcome. As Maya Angelou said, always, still, I rise. And so it is. Be sure to go to our website, herbertharris.com. Schedule a consultation, book a call with me to learn more about some of the great things that we're doing and ways we're helping people grow. Get your copy of the 12 Universal Laws of Success and some of the other goodies we have there. So once again, you can be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. So it is.